Now, Devan Flanders wasn't off. We had a message come through on Instagram this week on one of our posts from Ruben de Toy, and he said, can you please discuss Flanders? He looks great at 8.
And he's been doing this, like, even going back to Hawke's Bay, like, he had a massive NPC. Like, he was, I think he scored 2 chip and chase tries. Like, his attacking prowess has just gone through the roof. 21 handles of the ball, 15 carries, the most run meters on the whole park. Force and Hurricanes, he had 137 run meters. Just a massive work rate, but he's got this. He's got those fast twitch fibers, like he can sort of go to 0 to 100. Now, I'm not saying he's as fast as like a Bowden Barrett, but it catches you off guard.
Yeah.
He's sort of just dancing his feet and then boom, he's gone. So, he's got the offload ability. He can beat defenders. He made line breaks in this game. And he's extremely accurate on defence. Like, there's not much, like, to be fair, I think he's been doing this for 2 or 3 years, and every time he's been given the opportunity, All Blacks 15, he's gone really well. I'd love to see him get more opportunities at the high level, because I think he's one of those guys. You know how, Bryn, there's guys that will go to test match level, and they'll bring, like they just look like they belong there. And I really feel like Flanders is that sort of player, that if he's given an opportunity, he will take it with both hands and potentially dominate at that level.
The reason why I think he will work at international level is because he's got a high work rate, an attrition rate, especially around the breakdown. Now, the attacking area is a really big part. We talk around quick ball, being able to get over the advantage line. He was, in terms of the top 2 in the Hurricanes carriers of the whole team, to be able to get over the advantage line. You talk around his defensive efforts, he's able to be in the high tackle rate in terms of like what it is for a flanker. So when it comes to both sides of the ball, he's very, very efficient in that. And I agree with Jip, like if given the opportunity, and I know that, look, there's so many loose forwards that we're blessed to have in the country at the moment. Your likes of your Larkai, Blackadder, whoever it may be, in all teams, with Papali, whoever it may be. It's just whether they are going to give him opportunity. But I think he would arguably probably be the form loose forward, I reckon, from what I've seen in the first 5 weeks with what he's done on both sides of the ball. But have love been seen as attack and been able to get over the advantage line, which is a big part, I think, in an international game with loose forwards at the moment.
You also know, like Dave Rennie, what he's looking for is gain line carries, because that means you can, get that quick ball, you can dismantle the breakdown. He was 73% gain line for his individual carries, and then it's 90% quick ball off that 73%. So you think about his ability to get between defenders and get over the gain line, like a 4 metre carry is perfect. And he has the ability to almost get that every time. And that ability to recycle ball, you have to think, of, Liam Neeson back in the Chiefs heyday when Dave Rennie was there. Like, he was a ball carrier, he was a ball player. Flanders is definitely a ball player. He's not someone that needs a tip ball or run off a back. He can be first receiver and dominate in and around that attacking area.
When you say 4 meters, is that because you're still going to have the cleaners with you? If you run too far, your cleaners might get lost. It's kind of a nice intermediary between getting over the advantage line and going too far over.
Yeah, well, if you really want a line break or you don't want to create separation, I'll be honest, I stole that off Liam McDonald. That was his rule. He said, like, to us forwards, it's like you 4 metre carry is perfect, because normally it's like you meet at the gain line, which is probably 2 metres, and then you're ending up to another 2 metres back. So I actually don't know the science behind it, believe it or not, but I always thought it sounded great. And in theory, it does exactly what you just said, is if you make that 10 metre break and you don't have the ability to buy time and you don't have that support, that's when you can get yourself isolated.
Brendan, one of the things about having loose forwards in there is the trio's got to complement each other. So if you've got a Flanders at 8, which loose forwards and their skill sets do you think would complement having him at 8?
Duplessis, Karifi, and the Manti Van in terms of what they have at the Hurricanes. But look, I think what it does do, it can give the ability to be able to put Artie at 7. You've got a Wallace at TT, even a Simon Parker that they probably saw as the number 6 role. But again, we just don't know where the direction of what Dave Rennie wants in terms of his loose forward trio. I think the collision area and getting that quick ball in the breakdown, Dave Rennie's a big part of that. We showed in the stats that Jip showed a few weeks ago around the breakdown area and how important that is. So, look, I think, anybody, really. I think what it does open, it gives you Artie at 7, you've got him at 8, and then you can play around with your 6 if you want a Wallace at TT or a Simon Parker who can be able to, clean rucks and do all the kind of dirty work. So, it just depends kind of what feel Dave Rennie and that coaching group wants when it comes to that time of the year.
I think he's athletic enough to do sometimes what Artie did with Tupou Ta'iloa, you know, like he might have had 7 on his back, but he got into the boot of the scrum, depending on the opposition. So like I do think Flanders is a genuine 6, 7, 8 option, like at a push 7, but in terms of even a bench role,
Yeah.
he does give you a lot. And someone of his skill set and spark off the bench, his speed and power late in games could be really, really impressive.
There's a lot of depth there. When you look at what they did with Vey coming in and playing 6, Parker handling test footy well, plus all of the more tried and true Lakai.
Karifi, like, man, he is just a monster. I know that our show is a big fan of him, obviously, but just watching him play, he is just a ball of muscle. It just goes straight through people. So the deep loose forward is just, it's hard work. It seriously is. Like, I even think someone like Sean Withy, man, like he got a taste of All Blacks 15. You know, Dalton's going away. Like he's another one that he's been superb early. You know, and he leads that Otago Highlanders defence. And when they defend well, the Highlanders win.
But before we go, Ryan Arnold. I've seen a lot of talk about overseas players in recent weeks and thought, why don't they allow a few players with over 75 caps to come and train with the All Blacks and be used in an emergency, kind of a ghetto law but at a lower level. He says their experience could be a big help to some of the younger players like Cam Roigard getting some time with Aaron Smith, or Josh Lord and Fabian Holland getting time with Brodie Retallick. This would then allow them to select those players for a World Cup should everyone get injured, and they would be up to date with Dave Rennie and how he wants to play. Do you think that a veteran clause is the way to go?
No, I can't go down this rabbit hole again. My opinion is still the same as 10 years ago, 5 years ago. I just can't, it's just not something I can get my head around. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It just seems like I feel it will become a problem. We're not South Africa. We have 5 million people. We do not have like 26 million.
Yeah.
Like it's just, yeah. Because like if you lose so much talent from Super Rugby, there's just a trickle-on effect in my opinion.
Especially with sponsorship, etc.
Yeah, I love that. Look, it's a great idea. But like Nuggy's been in there training when he was back on Japanese leave. You know, like I'm all for the training. You can get in there and rip in and teach but I just, no.
Copy and paste. Couldn't agree more with Jiffer right there. Which is probably the only time we probably agree like that. 100%. Don't even need to go any more around it. That's like.
Hey, we both put South Africa
agree.
at the top, mate. We both put South Africa at the top.
Jeez, you've really been appealing to the South African audience today. You know, talking about how Super Rugby was tougher when they were in it. And,
it was,
and
mate.
as well.
You trip to Africa. Oh.
They'll be loving you.
Oh, sorts of men from the boys.